Hey, 30-minute marketers. Today's video, we're going to talk about how to find your target audience on Facebook. If you're new to the channel, I'm Gary Baker, and I'm here to show you how to do more to market your message in less time. And to do that, make sure you click on the subscribe button, ring the bell for notification of future videos, as well as check out the link in the description and the pinned first comment for a simple and effective step-by-step blueprint that you can use to start your own online business today. And now, as you can see on the screen, Facebook audience insights about how to find your target audience or your target market using Facebook. But before we get there and get into audience insights and the tool, I wanted to talk about this book, The Ultimate Marketing Plan. Now, this is by Dan Kennedy. And of course, if you don't know who Dan Kennedy is, you should, and you should check out this book. And I'll leave a link in the description so you can check out this book. One of the key factors that he mentions in this book, and the reason I want to talk about the book before we look at Facebook, is I want you to understand that Facebook didn't invent marketing. Of course, you probably know that, but a lot of times it helps to read the stories of the people that did this before you. So in this book, he talks about the ultimate marketing plan, success factor number 3, and he's talking about target markets, which are out of the triad of marketing, message, and media. And of course, we're talking about target market in this case. Of course, market and audience can be used interchangeably. They are a little different. They have some subtle differences. For example, a great example of this is your market, if you're selling diapers, is to babies and toddlers. That's the market you're targeting. But your target audience, the people that are going to purchase, would be parents and or grandparents or someone that has an interest in purchasing these products for the market, which is the babies and toddlers. But again, we can kind of use these interchangeably for this discussion. So I might go back and forth between audience and market, but essentially you understand what I mean. Talking about target market, we're looking for the segment of the marketplace or an audience that we're trying to get to purchase a product. Specifically, as an affiliate marketer, we're looking for that market. We're looking for that audience inside of the Facebook tool. But back to this book, understanding and targeting your market is key. He starts off, Dan Kennedy that is, starts off with a joke about a husband and a wife going deer hunting. The husband takes the wife deer hunting. He doesn't really want her to get in the way because she's not really into deer hunting. She just wants to spend time with her husband. So he sticks her in a place that he thinks that she's going to be okay. And he just tells her, okay, if you see a deer, just hold the deer and let us know. So she spots a deer. She shoots her gun off. And by the time the husband gets back to where the wife has been waiting, the man is trying to explain to the lady. And he says, okay, lady, he says, it's your deer. Can I at least get my saddle off of it? So obviously the joke is, it's not a deer, it's a horse. The man's trying to get a saddle off the horse, but the lady thinks it's a deer. Anyway, haha. It's kind of funny. But the key here, and another thing I want to bring it is the ultimate marketing sin when we're talking about targeting your market is wasting your weaponry aiming at the wrong targets. Now, this simply means trying to advertise to everyone, because if you're trying to market to everyone, if you're trying to advertise your product to everyone, then essentially you're getting your message to no one. All right. So he talks about Gary Halbert. And if you don't know who Gary Halbert is, Gary Halbert, one of the greatest things that he ever did, in my opinion, and wrote is the Boron Letters. And I'll put a card up here and you can check out the video where I answered the question, what is the Boron Letters? But talks about Gary Halbert. It was his friend and true marketing guru. And he posed this question. If you were going to open a new hamburger stand in town and you could have any one asset or advantage, what is the one thing you would want the most? Now, many people answer the best hamburgers in town, a secret sauce, a great cook, a great logo, character, sort of like Ronald McDonald. So we're thinking about McDonald's. All right. But Gary's answer, again, that's Gary Halbert. His answer was a starving crowd. Now, I did a video as well on a starving crowd, and I'll leave a link up here in the card to that video. So watch that so you can understand what he means by when you're looking for a starving crowd, which is the best asset or the biggest advantage you can have is someone that is super hungry to buy your hamburgers when you're talking about targeting. All right. Then he moves into learning a very valuable lesson. And this lesson gets into the idea of targeting and understanding. So in the 3 things about targeting or building an audience, of course, you probably heard this as building an avatar. So when you build your avatar, you're narrowing down your audience. the things you're looking at are demographics, psychographics, and geographics. The thing is he talks about this in the early days of when that's Dan Kennedy, when in the early days of marketing, he found a person that was doing advertising, and of course this was direct response mailings, and the person was in the process and literally mailing out mail to every address in the white pages. And of course the white pages is the phone book. So he'd take the phone book and he would literally just mail out his offer to everyone in the phone book in a certain geographic region, such as a zip code. And then the guy didn't have much success with that, obviously, because he was just mailing out a wide net, wide berth to literally everyone. He didn't target his audience. But then later, this was in the late 60s, and crew cuts were supposedly out. So it wasn't a fashionable crew cut. It was a very tight, flat top sort of cut, military looking sort of haircut. But he noticed that guys with crew cuts were stubborn individualists about 40 to 50 years old, living in small towns and working in blue-collar jobs, truck drivers, policemen, high school coaches. And he didn't just take notice of this, he actually acted on it. So what he did is he actually went to the barber shops and he asked the barbers for a list of the barber's clients that were partial to crew cuts. And then once he did this, he sent out mailings and started contacting these people with crew cuts, and he saw his results skyrocket because now he was targeting a specific demographic, a specific group of people, a specific target audience that were interested in crew cuts that he had noticed were his best customers. So he sort of worked that back from, he looked at what his best customers looked like, and he realized majority of them had crew cuts. So he was able to target by going to a barber and getting a list of those people with crew cuts. And then he targeted those people versus targeting everyone in the white pages. So again, he narrowed down his target. He was being very specific. And in this case, the people with crew cuts were his starving crowd, the people interested in his offer. And he noticed once he got that targeting down, he nailed down that targeting. Of course, the ultimate marketing sin, wasting your weaponry, aiming at the wrong targets. He was no longer aiming at the wrong target, but he knew exactly who his audience was or who they appeared to be from those characteristics of having the crew cut. And of course, that is all in the ultimate marketing plan. I mean, it goes into a lot more detail than that. But obviously I can't read the whole book to you. And of course I wouldn't anyway. But link in the description to that, of course, The Ultimate Marketing Plan by Dan Kennedy. And with that, let's hop into Audience Insights over at Facebook. And of course, to get to Audience Insights, you would just simply Google Audience Insights. And then, of course, you'll see here, Audience Insights, inspire campaigns that are meaningful to people and drive real results. Know your audience like never before. Facebook Audience Insights gives you aggregated information about two groups of people connected to your page and people on Facebook. So you got demographics, and you also learn about people's interests and hobbies. You can also understand their lifestyle. So you're getting to everything here. So we talked about three big things that we're talking about: demographics, psychographics, and geographic, the region that people live in. So let's hop over to Audience Insights and take a look at how this works. So once you get into Audience Insights, you're going to see the options here. Choose an audience to start. So if you already have a Facebook page, then you can select the people connected to your Facebook page. But in this case, let's just go with everyone on Facebook. And of course, you click that. And what you're going to want to do is make sure that all this is cleared out here. The location is empty, age is empty. All these are empty. And what you want to see here is a new audience, more than 1 billion people. So that's everyone on Facebook. And of course, you can start here and you can actually see this, and it's very interesting. The demographics of everyone that's on Facebook. You can see the percentage of men and women and their actual age breakdown. You can see their relationship status, their education level, as well as their job title. And of course, if you select this selected target, you can see here now that it is grouped and organized by this blue bar. You can see that the job titles here are management, administrative services, sales, production. Just some interesting, again, audience insights, if you will, to what's going on Facebook. So the key here is, if we're talking about those big three things, right? Demographics. So inside of demographics, we're looking at age and gender, right? Their relationship and their job. So you can easily select that right here by going to age and gender. And if you were to pop down here, and let's just say we want to target people that are age 25, because I mean, simply if we're looking at affiliate marketing products, people that are 25 years and older tend to start to have credit cards or at least the ability to get a credit card to make purchases online. So we'll say age 25, and then we'll just drop this down. Let's just go and say, I believe 54 is a good range here according to this, 42%. So if we just change this to 25 to 54, you can see here the percentages are changing and everything. So that's one demographic. And of course, if we're talking about location, typically when people talk about running Facebook ads, they talk about the big five, talk about the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. Those are the big English-speaking countries and typically have more free income to spend on things, especially if you're selling things online, depending upon what your market is. Of course, you're going to have to understand that. So if we change this to the United States, you'll see this change. And of course, that'll be the country in the region. And of course, now you can see that that's dropped it down to 100 million to 150 million people. So as you can see, all the Audience Insights tool is literally just dropping it down inside of demographics, inside of location, which is geographic. So then you would go into interest. And if we're talking about interest, we'll go ahead. So let's just try marketing. So you can see here, you're going to have marketing, digital marketing, social media marketing. So if we were to select marketing, you can see here, interests now are business and industry, and under that is marketing. As you can see, this has dropped down now to 45 million and 50 million. Of course, remember, we're targeting location United States. We're targeting age and gender 25 to 64 or 54. Gender is all. Of course, if we were to change that to women, you can see it changes right there. And of course, the age and gender now is 100% and 0%. So as you can see, this tool is very valuable. But another great thing about this tool is once you select the location, you select the age, you select the gender, you select your interest, now you have the ability to click on this where it says page likes. And this is going to bring you into some information here that's going to give you some other information based upon the interest, based upon the age, based upon the location. So you have top categories here. And then, of course, page likes. You're going to see information down here about pages. So you could go ahead and you could take a look at those. And, of course, if you click on each one of those, you can see this audience size. And you can also click on it as well. And it will take you to the Facebook page so you can get some more information about that. And of course, this tool is only going to give you the information that Facebook has based upon the interest, based upon the interest and the demographics and geographics that you put in here. So this tool isn't going to find the audience for you, but it's going to give you the ability to target an audience based on the research that you put in, based upon the demographics, psychographics, and the geographic regions that you're targeting, and helps you narrow it down. So again, the tool is just there to help you narrow the audience on Facebook, but you're going to have to put in the work to understand your audience and then utilize the tool to narrow it down. But it will give you a lot of things that you may not have thought of. The thing to do is to just come over here and play with interest. So if we were to go back to interest and we were actually go into digital marketing, you're going to see this change. So now that we put in digital marketing, you can see that we've added digital marketing to our interest. You can see now that the pages that people have liked are changing. So you have Gary V, you have communities here. And of course, the pages down here, you're going to have Female Entrepreneur Association, Gary V again, Sandy Kurkowski, these people that I'm really not familiar with. But again, this is the beauty of using the Insight tool. It will tell you things that you may not be aware of. So as long as you understand and have a wide idea of what your market is, of course, in this case, digital marketing, United States, our age, now you can drill down into this, and maybe these will lead you to a smaller audience that you can target, because then you're drilling in and you're actually understanding your market even more. So this tool can be very, very beneficial to you. Now, again, this tool is primarily used to build audiences for Facebook ads, and I'll leave a card up here where I actually show you a Facebook ad that I set up and run with $5 a day budget, and you can see how that works from this tool to Facebook ads. But the key here to you that we're talking about using this tool, and the reason I started out with the Ultimate Marketing Plan, is because you need to understand your target market. You need to understand your audience, and that comes through research and using the most effective and the best tool you have, which is your brain, and utilizing the ability to use a tool like this along with something like Google. So for example, if you were to go back over to Google, when you're using Google and you're talking about targeting an audience, it's a little bit of a shift in the way you're doing the targeting, because when you're talking about using Google, to target your market. You're creating content, and you're creating content that you think that your market is going to be interested in. For example, we talked about the Ultimate Marketing Plan from Dan Kennedy. He mentions Gary Halbert, and I told you about the Boron Letters. Now, that may not be anything that you know about. So now you're going to ask a question. What are the Boron Letters? Based upon this video, right? Now you understand that people that are into marketing are going to know what the Boron Letters are. So this may be something that you want to become familiar with as you're doing audience research and also as you're digging into the topic of marketing. So as you can see, what are the Boron Letters? You can actually find out what the Boron Letters are. So people that have created content around this subject, around this topic, which as you can see right here on the first page of Google, a little ways down, but still on the first page, what are the Boron Letters? 30minutemarketing.net. So as you can see, in this case, I've created content and I've targeted my audience, and I'm letting SEO do the heavy lifting for me by letting my audience come to me versus me going to my audience. So when you think about targeting using Facebook Insights. You're going out and you're actively hunting down and targeting an audience. Whereas if you're using SEO, and you're using the search engines to let people ask you a question. In this case, what are the Boron Letters? Letters about Gary Halbert. Of course, this applies to YouTube as well. If I ask YouTube, what are the Boron Letters? Of course, you're going to see here on the first page and at the top, what are the Boron Letters and must know marketing strategies, because the Boron Letters contain very, very important marketing strategies from Gary Halbert, because again, just like Dan Kennedy said, he was a marketing genius and guru. So you should definitely understand him if you're doing marketing. I just wanted to show you the difference between SEO marketing and using search engines, Google and YouTube, for people to ask a question to get to you with your content versus using the audience insight tool. Because if I go here, we're looking at digital marketing. This is a wide berth. So for example, inside of interest, if you talk about the Boron Letters, you may or may not find that here. Of course, it's not going to be in an interest. Gary Halbert, probably not going to show up. So you would need to know someone a little bigger, like a Frank Kern, right? Even Dan Kennedy, I don't believe is in here. Dan Kennedy, I think last time I did this, Dan Kennedy showed up, but he shows up as a soccer person, which is not what we're looking for. So again, understand the power of the Facebook Audience Insights tool and how to use it for targeting your market. And of course, the more research you do, the better you'll understand. So for example, if you can't find what you're looking for, simply go to Google, ask questions like, what are the Boron Letters? Who is Gary Halbert? And you'll find information like that. And then you can go back to the Audience Insight tool and of course find other interests and of course those pages. But the point being here is understand that Facebook gives you the tools and the power that wasn't available when Dan Kennedy wrote his book, The Ultimate Marketing Plan. And the stories he tells, he talks about how people were doing it back in the old direct response days. And when I say old, I just mean that the pre-internet. But you use those same concepts and these same things that you learn in books like this to understand marketing. Because if you target yourself down, if you narrow yourself down and just think in your mind, I'm only an online marketer, I only do digital marketing. Those are just subsets of marketing, and you need to understand marketing from a big picture. So while the title of this video definitely was how to find your target audience using Facebook, remember Facebook is just a tool that you can use once you understand the big picture of marketing and understand what a target audience is and a target market is and why they're so valuable and why you need to make sure that you're narrowing down your target and being as specific as possible. So if you do choose to spend money on Facebook ads, then you'll understand what you're looking for and let the tool guide you. But understanding it's only a guide and that the research is still on you. Don't let yourself fall into the trap of thinking that the only way to do audience research is with the Facebook Audience Insights tool. Remember, you have Google, you have YouTube, you can dig down, you can find people and their interests, and then you can come back to the Audience Insight tool. So when you're ready to actually narrow that target market down, and if you want to run Facebook ads, it's readily available. If this video was helpful, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget the link in the description, the pinned first comment for a simple and effective step-by-step blueprint and strategy that has actually nothing to do with Facebook. To start your own online business today, go ahead, click on that link, get started. 30-minute timer here. Click on the timer, subscribe to the channel. Check out the videos here on the end screen for more videos just like this one to help you do more to market your message in less time and focus on what's important. All right. With that, I'll say thank you for your time and I'll talk to you later. Bye.